What's going on, everybody? John B. And I brought you out to a spot that on October 2nd, 1999 changed my life forever. Behind me is the ditch I wrecked my car in. So my accident happened early Saturday morning around a little bit after 12 midnight. And so basically Friday night we considered it. But to go back a little bit from where the story starts at is Thursday. My girlfriend and I was talking, and she wanted me to come up Thursday night, and she had things she wanted to do. So I told her if I come up Thursday, I couldn't come up Friday and stay the whole weekend because I had my car payment, and once I paid it, I wouldn't have enough money for gas to come back up another day. So I went out Thursday night, went out to the bar and stuff like that. Went out to dinner first, and went to the bar and club, and danced the night away. And we got back to her place about 3 o'clock in the morning, and basically I got about 2.5 hours sleep before I had to get back up and come back to Forsyth to go to work. Well, I got back to Forsyth and took a shower, got ready for work, and met my dad around 8 o'clock, and we headed out to the job site. And on that Friday at the job site, it was just my dad and I working because we were waiting on the sheetrock truck to come, and the few things we had to do around the house that we were working on, he and I could take care of together. And so I came home after work, and basically having about 2.5 hours sleep, I was wore out. So I took a shower, cleaned up once I got home, and went and laid on the couch and tried to take a quick nap. Well, got on the couch, and I wasn't asleep maybe 15-20 minutes before somebody was banging at my door. And so I got up to go see who it was, and it's one of my buddies. And he came in, he's like, "Let's go out, let's do something tonight." I was like, "I don't have any money, and don't have any gas in my car and stuff like that, so I'm just gonna stay here this weekend and just relax, take care of some things around the house," because pretty much every weekend or almost every day I was in Atlanta. And so I was like, I'm just gonna take care of some things around here this weekend and just chill for a bit. So he's like, let's go to Hooters, let's go to or my buddy's birthday party. So I really wasn't in the mood to go to Hooters or go to the birthday party, but he kept on saying, "Let's go, let's do this, let's do something for the weekend." And he kept on, and he said he's put some gas in my car if I take him. So I finally gave in. I was like, all right. So I went to got some gas and came on out to the house we were at for the party. We all just sat around drinking a little bit, and the guy had a hot tub. So at the time it was probably about 7:30. I had drank 2 or 3 beers, and went, and we didn't have any clothes for the hot tub. So my buddy that I brought to the party, he lives about a mile from where we're at. So we decided to go back to his house and get some shorts. And we was leaving the driveway, and I made a right coming out of the driveway. And he asked me, he's like, "Where are you going?" I was like, "I'm going back to your house." He's like, "No, you can go to the left and get there a lot quicker." So me not knowing the road, I just went on to the right and went to his house. So we came back, sat in the hot tub for a while. I got out of the hot tub, went inside and just sat on the couch. And when I got on the couch, being tired, just sitting around, I took a little nap again. And he came in a little bit after midnight. It's like, "Are you ready to go?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm ready." We started leaving, and coming down the driveway, he goes, "Take a left, remember, it's a lot quicker to get to my house." So I took a left out of the driveway and started down the road. And the road, it wasn't that very far from the driveway to where I had my accident at. But I remember being in first gear and going into second gear. But that's all I remember. Next thing I know, I guess I passed out, went to sleep or something, because like I said, I just really was not into it, just tired wise. And ran out the right hand side of the road. And when I ran out the road, it kind of woke me up, and I pulled the car back onto the road. And when I did, I pulled to the left, and the road went to the right. It's a little curve, and I came around the curve and hit the ditch behind me. Well, when I hit the ditch, everything was like slow motion, and I remember slamming on brakes, sliding into the ditch, and the car, it went down into the ditch, and then flipped up on the side, on the driver's side, onto the embankment. And everything was slow motion. The glass, the airbag popping out. I just remember everything clear as day. And I remember looking over to the right at him, and during the accident, screaming at him, asking him, "Is he okay?" Because I was worried, I done killed him or something like that. So we finally, it was just strange because it's slow motion, and we landed back in the road, and we landed in the road, and the airbags had all the airbag dust going everywhere, so we thought the car was on fire. So once we realized that the car wasn't on fire and it was just the airbags, we was trying to figure out what the next step was. And I looked down, and because I thought my arm was in the windowsill. Well, when I looked down, it was sitting across my lap. So I was like, well, I must have broke my arm. So, that was the first thing I noticed. And then my ear, I felt like blood running on the side of my face, something wet. And he's like, yeah, you're bleeding. And come to find out, when I got to the hospital, the top of my ear got cut off, my right ear somehow. And it was just barely hanging on by a little bit of skin. And so he's getting out of the car. He's going to go call 911. Well, I also looked down, and I noticed the steering wheel is sitting on my thighs. And, I didn't know it was touching my thighs because I didn't feel any pain or anything, because when I hit the ditch, I was pretty much instantly paralyzed. And the doctors and all that say it's probably because I'm tall, and my head was over the headrest. And they said the roof caved in, hit me in the head, and also the impact going back and forth could have broke my neck. And I ended up breaking my C1, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and 8. And they said the 6 through 8 was crushed completely, just shattered, just turned to dust. The bones were dust. So the only thing that was keeping me alive was my C2. That's your breathing. So that was the only thing I had left, was the C2. So I was looked over that night as far as that. So because I was everything broke except for C2, so I was still able to breathe. So anyhow, my buddy got out of the car, because there's a house right up the street here, right across from where I wrecked at. And he got out of the car to go call 911. Well, I had my cell phone in the car, and the road across from here, we never had any cell phone service. But the spot we were in, where I had my wreck at, he grabbed my phone, and we had cell service. So he called 911, and the State Patrol was the first to show up on the scene. So the State Patrol gets here on scene, and he comes up, and he checks on us and sees what's going on. And I explained to him, we had a wreck and all that. And he's like, well, the ambulance and fire truck and all that had already been called also. And but him being first on scene, he started taking over things. And he walked back to the car, popped the trunk, and came back and told me to blow. And so also, because my neck was broken, I was paralyzed, it affects your diaphragm, so you can't breathe. And at first, going from being able to breathe like a regular to can barely breathe, I couldn't blow into the machine. I could blow, but it wasn't a hard blow because it's really weak. And so I kept trying to blow, and he kept yelling at me and fussing at me because he said I wasn't trying to blow hard enough. And luckily, Lamar County EMT showed up on the scene, and they ended up having to come and take the jaws of life to cut us out of the car. Well, to cut me out of the car, because my side was caved in where they couldn't get me. So when the Lamar County deputy showed up on the scene, he came up and started talking to me, and I told him about the State Patrol, and I was like, get him away from me and stuff like that. And that kind of became a little fiasco on its own, because State Patrol has jurisdiction over the county, and so from what they told me. So the State Patrol kind of backed down, because the sheriff told him, he goes, look, he's got to go to the hospital. If you want to get him for anything, they're going to do blood work, so you'll know what's all in his blood system. You'll know what he's been doing. So EMTs came in and started doing their thing. Well, Lamar County called my mom, and I think she said it was about 12:20 she got the phone call that I'd been in an accident. And but they wouldn't tell her anything. They wouldn't tell her anything about me or the passenger. And so she was freaking out, because her aunt had gotten a phone call before, years ago, from Lamar County, that her cousin was in an accident, and come to find out he passed away, because they wouldn't tell her anything over the phone. So my mom was thinking the same thing with me and my buddy, that we'd done passed away in the wreck. So they leave the house, come up here to where the accident scene's at, and the EMTs are cutting me out of the car at the time she gets here. And well, when she pulls up, I'm up under a white sheet, so that kind of freaks her out. And I heard her yelling for me, so I told my buddy Bruce to yell back at her, and let her know we were okay and all that. So she felt a little more calm then. So they finally cut me out of the car, and I'm back. By the time they get me out of the car, I'm back asleep again. And I wake up on and off. They're trying to keep me awake. The EMTs are slapping me around, telling me to stay awake and all that. So they throw me in the ambulance and take me about a mile or two up the road to 341, the highway, so a helicopter could land. And from there, I get in the helicopter, and the guy's keeping me awake and stuff like that. The EMT on the helicopter is, and he keeps on, hitting the side of my face, stay awake, and all that. We need you awake. And they're also trying to put a tube down my throat, and I wasn't gonna have that because I kept biting the tube, and he kept telling me if you don't let me go down your mouth, I'm gonna go up your nose. And me thinking I can reach up and hold him back, I didn't realize I couldn't move it off from my neck down. He took the tube and stuck it up my nose, and I felt it go right up my nose, right down my throat. And so took the helicopter ride all the way down to the medical center in Macon, Georgia. So got to the hospital, and I remember being in the waiting room. I just remember laying on the table, and some EMTs from Monroe County, where I'm from, came in to see me. And well, they didn't know I was there. But when they came by, they saw me laying on the gurney, and they stopped to talk to me, asked me what was going on. And I was in and out of it, trying to stay awake. But from there, after I talked to them a little bit, I finally got seen by a doctor. They took me back there, did all the X-rays and MRIs, and CAT scans just to see what was going on with me. Did the blood work, came back, no DUI, and they came in and put a halo on, but they just put the main part of halo on, and the doctor came in and explained to me what they were doing, and I told him, I was like, I know exactly what's happening because my dad had one put on, and so I knew exactly what was happening at the time. And they put the halo on my head, and I remember the first screw when they were putting it in, they had the drill and the screw, and it was on this side of my head when they started screwing it in. When I heard my skull crack, that's when I passed out. So when I came to, I was in a room, and they had it was kind of a weight system to keep my head back so my head would move side to side, and I was on a bed that tilted from left to right to keep pressure sores off because I was laying on my back the whole time. And kind of find out the doctor I had didn't want to perform the surgery here, but he wanted me to go to Piedmont up in Atlanta. And the reason for that was Piedmont was connected to the Shepherd Center, and if I went there to have surgery, I could get in the Shepherd Center a lot quicker than if he did the surgery down here in Macon, I might not have ever gotten to the Shepherd Center. I would have had to go to another rehab center around here. But he was looking out for us and said, best of care is up there. There's a spinal cord, brain injury in the hospital, and he's got a spinal cord injury. So I didn't know I had a spinal cord injury or really what it was. And they came in, and the doctor was explaining to me what it was, and he's like, you aren't going to walk or move your arms or anything for the rest of your life. He goes, you broke your neck. He explained it to me and stuff, and it's kind of you're out of it because you're on pain meds, but you're trying to comprehend what he's saying at the same time. So, and the next thing I remember is I was being transported to Piedmont Center up in Atlanta. So I went to Piedmont, had my surgery done, and I spent some time in ICU up there. And they moved me to the Shepherd Center because I got in Shepherd, and moved to Shepherd, and I started my physical therapy there and my occupational therapy, and was there from the end of October to the beginning of December. And then I came home, and I went back for an outpatient program at the beginning of the year. And I left Shepherd in February 2000, and that's the story of how this ditch behind me changed my life forever on October 2nd, 1999. And if you have any questions about my injury or about my accident, just hit me up, and I'll get back with you. All right, later. Thanks for watching. Later.